what purpose does the gentlelady from Texas seek recognition?
Strike the last word.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, let me thank Congressman Snyder for this legislation. Very proud to be, pleased and proud to be an active co-sponsor of this bipartisan Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act. Let me just call the roll. Let me take a moment to just call the roll on the very essence of this legislation and the vital necessity. The shooting spree in my state at Walmart in El Paso, Texas, which left 22 dead and 24 injured. This individual drove 11 hours, as my friend and colleague, Congressman Escobar, indicated, to just kill Latinos, kill them dead. The rampage at Pittsburgh's Tree of Life Synagogue, where 11 people were killed, Jewish synagogue. The racist attack on the Sikh Temple of Wisconsin, which left 6 people dead. The brutal murder of innocent worshipers at Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church in Charleston, the funerals that I went to, who simply invited a terrorist into their church to pray. 3 Muslim college students executed in Chapel Hill, supposedly over a parking, but tinged with hostility for the young people's look. And the spa shooter in Atlanta, which we are honored today, who killed 8 people, including 6 women of Asian descent. He was moved to go and kill Asians. Charlottesville, where those with tiki torches were walking around talking about Jews and black people, that they should not be here. The terror of my beloved young people on the nation's historically black colleges, still frightened today about the potential of bomb threats. The skin I live in and have to be exposed every day to the potential of some comment or some action because of something I cannot change, my heritage and the color of my skin, or others who speak different languages, who live in different lifestyles. This is a disturbing increase, and white supremacy is at the front of it. The violence is without question. The proliferation of hate groups in communities across America is without question, and they exist rampantly online. Last year, the Subcommittee on Terrorism held a hearing, The Rise of Domestic Terrorism in America, to discuss the continuing surge of white supremacy and right-wing extremism, to discuss federal law enforcement's failure to address domestic terrorism and acts of violence driven by racially motivated hates and animus toward religious minorities. Despite our efforts, it continued. On January 15th, a gunman stormed into a synagogue, this time in Colleyville, Texas, taking 4 people hostage, but looking for them to free an incarcerated person who was claimed to be in the United States for terrorist reasons. The rise in violence against minority institutions, as I indicated, FBI Director Wray declared that 2019 was the deadliest year for domestic extremism since Oklahoma City bombing in 1995, which I was in the United States Congress for, and saw that violence and terror, with 5 separate domestic violent extremist attacks resulting in 32 deaths in 2019, 24 of which were conducted by racially motivated extremists. In 2020, the FBI Uniform Crime Reporting recorded 8,263 hate crime incidents, 11,129. And of these incidents, 62% were motivated by racial or ethnic bias, 20% by bias against persons' sexual orientation, and 13% were motivated by the victim's religion. Let me just say this. I am a parent. These are not the parents that we were discussing. The idea of General Garland's effort was not to malign or attack parents or to make them unsafe or board members to make them unsafe. It was to ensure that the demonizing that was occurring over the pandemic's decision, leadership to try and protect our children, and misguided information was given to individuals, albeit innocent that they were, who came and screamed and shouted and said, "I have guns in my home, I will bring them to kill you." That is what General Garland was concerned about. Murder and pillage in school board meetings out of the words of parents, albeit misguided, albeit on wrong information. I take that. The memo has harmed no one. A gun could harm someone of someone misguided. This legislation is long overdue. Its focus is not our parents. Love them as we do. Its focus is to stop the surge, the absolute dastardly acts of white supremacy and the violence that is generated from it. How long do we need to explain this? This is an important initiative. Mr. Chairman, I ask all of our colleagues to support this and get back on track for what this nation stands for as we stand and fight with Ukraine as it fights against hatefulness and violence. I yield back.